So we got a hodgepodge of election-related stuff here. So it looks like Rudy Giuliani's finally following up on his statements that he made just after the Texas lawsuit got dismissed, that they're going to retool and go state to state. But we're going to get to that after we get to this, because now we have private companies censoring the government as YouTube removes Trump lawyers' opening statement from Senate committee hearings. It was the Jesse Binnall testimony when he said all of that stuff about Nevada. He had all of the numbers about the dead people, the people who didn't live there any longer, who transferred to a different state, people who registered in open lots and casinos and a whole bunch of other stuff. We covered that, and I forget which video it was. But not only are his opening statements gone, the entire hearing is gone, because apparently testimony given under oath is now somehow a violation of YouTube's new rules regarding the election. Strange times, scary times as well. One of President Donald Trump's lawyers said YouTube removed his opening statement from a Senate Homeland Security hearing on election fraud. YouTube has decided that my opening statements in the United States Senate, given under oath and based on hard evidence, is too dangerous for you to see. They removed it. To this day, our evidence has never been refuted, only ignored. Why is Google so afraid of the truth? Hashtag Big Brother. Lawyer Jesse Binnall wrote on Twitter. Another video of his testimony at the hearing, uploaded on December 17th by a separate account, appeared to still be up. So they are only going after the big channels. Good. So let's just say a very outspoken man with 166 subscribers is probably going to fly under the radar on this one. That's good to know, because I am not going to be censoring any of my content, and I will still be making retards and dick jokes, so don't you guys fear. Another video is, his testimony still up. The Epoch Times reached out to YouTube, a subsidiary of Google. No, you don't say, and Google is a subsidiary of Alphabet Corporation as well. Figure I'll throw that free information in there. Earlier this month, YouTube announced it would remove content alleging widespread fraud or errors change the outcome of the historic presidential election. Yeah, and also citing the nebulous safe harbor deadline of December 8th. Now, if you actually have legitimate concrete evidence like Jesse Binnall has, are those allegations at that point? I'm just saying, I'm no Twitter lawyer, but this dude's actually passed the bar exam, so, I guess it's still all up in the air unless you work at Google and everything just gets axed at one point or another, so hopefully you guys see this. There are still outstanding legal challenges regarding, the general election, and 7 states have also sent out dueling electors, which we will have to see how that's going to shake out January 6th. Oof. It's going to be sketchy, guys. So with all of these other legal hearings, the rest of this article just goes and details what the fuck's going to happen and what Binnall was talking about, but we already covered that in a previous video as well. It'll be linked if you guys would like to read the rest of it. But anyways, with a bunch of other legal hearings that are going to be coming up, what the fuck is going to happen with any of the hearings that could potentially go on? Let's just say, okay, we'll just go ahead and take a look, because we're going to save the actual Pennsylvania lawsuit for the end. But I hate the pivot that they're going on, but let's just say something gets picked up. Even the Pennsylvania lawsuit gets picked up. Is Right Side Broadcasting Network supposed to be able to cover that, or is it immediately going to get taken down? If there's any more Senate hearings in order to present evidence, are those going to get taken down as well? Because the lawsuits aren't settled yet. And because they're not settled yet means that the election isn't over yet. I'm very confused. I know what's right. I know the legal path that's going forward, and I think I've done a decent job explaining that to everybody. So you guys will probably know the exact same things I'm thinking here. So it's a frightening time. And we just need to know what the fuck is actually going on before everything starts to get CCP'd. Giuliani's Trump team will use different strategy, focus on voting machines. It didn't go well for Sidney Powell's team, so why are you doing this? But I understand, okay, if you're actually getting the subpoenas to take a look at the machines, as we've seen in Michigan, and if they can somehow figure out what the fuck is going on in Arizona, that's not a bad idea. That's really not a bad idea. And it's not like Georgia's actually going to do anything about it. Maybe you can sway their legislature to do something, but that Georgia's looking more and more like a lost cause as the day goes on, because Brian Kemp's like, listen, I just want them to do the audit. And, oh, okay, we're going to do an audit, but we're not actually going to audit anything in Cobb County. But we're not wanting to look at Cobb County. We're wanting looking at DeKalb, and we want to look at Fulton County. No, we're going to take a look at Cobb. Fucking whatever. President Donald Trump's lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, thank God he made his successful recovery from the deadly China virus. Jeez, I can't believe he made a full 100% recovery. Wow. Fucking color me surprised. Said the president's legal team plans to shift its strategy to focus more on voting machines that were used during, the general election to prove claims of fraud in the results. Giuliani, the president's personal attorney, spoke on when did that get canceled, or when did it get yeeted off of YouTube? A couple weeks ago? Yeah, Steve Bannon's War Room. We pretty much meet on and off all day yesterday. And starting this morning, there's a completely different strategy, Giuliani told Bannon, who was one of Trump's 2016 campaign managers. Yes, and then he left after, I forget all the circumstances around that. Bannon started to get too big of a head, and then shit went fucking sideways. But he's kind of collected himself, I guess. A little bit of an ego trip there from him. He's not a bad dude based on what he's doing outside of the White House, and definitely was instrumental to the 2016 victory. I cannot say that with more certainty. Trump team, first and foremost, the strategy going to focus a great deal on evidence we have about some of these machines that could throw off states in a matter of maybe a day or two audit. Yeah, if you can make these very, very quick audits, that would be terrific, okay? The Trump team, he added, wants to audit voting machines in Pennsylvania, Arizona, Georgia, and Michigan, because they successfully got to audit them. That was in Antrim County, the 22 machines, and proved that there was some really fucking shady shit going on, and that's what they're trying to do in Maricopa County, but as we know, they are defying subpoenas over there because I guess they're above the law. I think we can get these accomplished despite the resistance and the cover-ups of the Republican governments, the guy in Arizona and the guy in Georgia. If we had their cooperation, we could have ended it by Monday. Exactly, Giuliani told Bannon. I'm tired of dealing with them. We just push them aside, and I think over the weekend you'll see different strategies being employed. And I think that's a good time where we can pivot over to the new Pennsylvania lawsuit. So this is an official Trump campaign lawsuit. This isn't one of the other, sideshow lawsuits. This is one officially from the campaign. And we got the lawsuit pulled up. It's not very long, so we'll go over a couple of points on it as well. President Donald Trump's campaign filed an appeal to the United States Supreme Court. Don't get your hopes too far up. I know I'm just presenting this because it is in fact news. Not that I'm saying that anything is going to necessarily come of this, but know that it's out there, and maybe because it's a state matter, they are actually going to hear about it because it's not something so big. I don't even know. I couldn't even possibly crawl into the minds of those other 7 justices that aren't Thomas and Alito. I've been listening to a lot of stuff on Clarence Thomas lately, and the dude continues to impress me at every single turn. If you guys want a deep dive on him between Christmas and New Year's, when news is probably going to be a lot slower, I think I might do that. So if you're looking forward to that, hopefully that's something that might pique your interest. President Donald Trump's campaign, filed an appeal at the United States Supreme Court to reverse cases by the Pennsylvania Supreme Court that changed mail-in ballot laws. So they're focusing on that, but at the same time, they also want to take a look at the voting machines. So the campaign's case, which we have pulled up as well, but I'll just finish most of this article, is attempting to reverse 3 cases decided by the state's Supreme Court that illegally changed the mail-in ballot laws immediately before and after the 2020 presidential election. Exactly. So they're just going to go ahead and magnify all of the concerns in Pennsylvania and go after them, because we knew that Alito and Thomas were sympathetic to those causes, and if they were to rejigger their lawsuit, they would still want to hear it. So it's worth a shot, right? It's definitely worth a shot. The lawyers contended that the Supreme Court's decision are in violation of Article 2 of the Constitution and the 2000 Bush v. Gore ruling. Okay. And to be honest, though, let's just go ahead and assume this case is successful. Okay. I'm not saying it's going to be. I'm not even saying that that's a likely outcome. Still need 2 more states to come through with this. That's why their shotgun approach of trying to get Georgia and trying to get Arizona Michigan, and because Dominion wasn't used in Wisconsin, that could be a little tough. And then Nevada, nobody's looking at anything over there, so it's tough to say. But we still haven't heard anything when it comes to New Mexico, so the fuck, we don't know. We just don't know a lot at this point. The lawsuit is seeking all appropriate remedies, which include the vacating of electors that are committed to Joe Biden and allowing the Pennsylvania legislature to call their own electors, the dueling electors that they would have sent or are going to send on January 6th. While the Electoral College vote on December 14th, the Republican Party in Pennsylvania said its own electors cast for Trump and Vice President Mike Pence in a bid to preserve legal challenges in the state. Yes, of course, that's what we covered before. The campaign also moved for expedited consideration, asking the Supreme Court to order responses by December 23rd and reply by December 24th to allow the United States Supreme Court to rule before Congress meets on January 6th to consider the votes of the Electoral College, according to Trump's statement, authored by former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani, of course, because he's the head of the legal team. This represents the campaign's first independent United States Supreme Court filing and seeks relief based on the same constitutional arguments successfully raised in Bush v. Gore. And before we go any further, let's take a look. So this one is, we got the cover page here. So it's Donald J. Trump's campaign for president against Kelly Bachvar, Pennsylvania. She was the Pennsylvania Secretary of State. All right, so petitioner Donald J. Trump for President Incorporated, the re-election campaign for President Donald Trump, respectfully requests pursuant to the Supreme Court Rule 21 that this court expedite its consideration for the petition of the writ certiorari filed today. Petitioners further request pursuant to Supreme Court Rule 25.4 that the petition is granted, the court expedite the schedule for briefing and oral argument if the court deems such helpful. Such expedited review would allow an orderly and timely resolution of the important questions presented under the United States Constitution and federal law. So the case at issue, petitioner seeks a writ of certiorari to review the constitutionality of 3 related Pennsylvania Supreme Court opinions eviscerating the laws enacted by the Pennsylvania legislature governing the election of presidential electors in the middle of the 2020 presidential election in violation of Article 2 and Bush v. Gore 531, United States 98, care of 2000. A related decision, Pennsylvania Democratic Party v. Bachvar 238, next page, extending the statutory deadline for receipt of absentee and mail-in ballots for 3 days is already before the court. Yes, the one that we've seen there. The additional 3 Pennsylvania Supreme Court decisions are changing the law and prohibiting verification of signatures on absentee and mail ballots declarations, and eliminating the statutory right for parties and campaigns to challenge absentee and mail ballots during canvassing on election day. Eliminating campaign statutory rights to meaningfully observe canvassing of absentee and mail-in ballots on election day. That was the one that was ruled as, just because there's somebody who's in there means that is fulfilled the obligation for dual poll watchers or election officials to observe what was going on when it comes to the observation of ballots. It just because they're 40 or 50 feet away and they're still in the same room means that was fulfilled. That is functionally retarded. And number 3, eliminating or modifying statutory requirements for signing, addressing, and dating absentee and mail-in ballot declarations. As Justice Alito and Thomas and Gorsuch noted regarding the Pennsylvania Supreme Court already before it, the Supreme Court of Pennsylvania has issued a decree that squarely alters an important statutory provision enacted by the Pennsylvania legislature pursuant to its authority under the Constitution of the United States to make rules governing the conduct of the elections for federal office. The provisions of the federal Constitution conferring on state legislatures, not state courts, the authority to make rules governing federal elections would be meaningless if a state court could override the rules adopting by the legislature simply by claiming that a state constitutional provision gave the court the authority to make whatever rules it thought appropriate for conducting of a fair election. Exactly. That is just once again reaffirming that the governor and the executive branch just slam through these rules without the legislature properly affirming them, and that's what they want the United States Supreme Court to decide. And they have those 3 cases up there. The first one was brought by Mike Kelly. That's the one that we've covered extensively about Act 77. And then the second one, yeah, obviously we covered that as well. And then the third one is just another tie-in. So basically, by Wednesday at noon, we should hear something from Brockvar and her camp, and then hopefully something on Christmas Eve at noon from the Supreme Court. See if they get something longer than a 2-page dismissal. If this goes through, I will be fucking shocked. I will be happy, but I will be shocked because we've seen the cowardice of those 7 other justices on the Supreme Court. But because this one is basically alleging the same stuff from the Texas lawsuit, and it is much more specifically scoped in on Pennsylvania, it has a chance. It has a chance. I haven't seen anybody else cover this one before, but I don't know. I like it. So yeah, let's just do the wrap up here from the Epoch Times. Furthermore, the lawsuit will attempt to reverse several decisions that eviscerated the Pennsylvania legislature's protection against mail-in ballot fraud. That's what we covered there as well. Collectively, the 3 decisions resulted in counting approximately 2.6 million mail-in ballots, violation of the law as enacted by the Pennsylvania legislature. Trump's lawyer, John Eastman, wrote, adding that more than enough ballots are involved to affect the election outcome. I like this. I like this a lot because it's not focusing on the weird allegations of the voting machines. As we've seen before, there is fucked up stuff that is happening with algorithms and the amount of different errors that come through whenever batches of ballots are put through the machines. Like, I'll cite it again, 15,000 errors or instances come up when 17,000 batches get put through. That is far too many. Far too many. I don't think anybody can properly argue against that. And there are cases to be made based on expert analysis and testimony. I just like the fact that they are trying to fight a case based on mail-in ballots and auditing that and seeing the unconstitutionality of these laws. We'll see where it goes. And probably tomorrow, probably Tuesday, we'll probably see something in Georgia, Michigan, Wisconsin, the same regular cast of characters. We'll see if any more official Trump lawsuits come out of this one, but that's what we've seen here today. So they're going to be looking at the voting machines in those different states as well, and we'll see who gets to cover the action. I don't know, but that's what we know right now today, so I will leave it at that. I thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.